Hello and welcome once again to Sioux Online. Today we're continuing on with interviews with candidates from Prince Township. Today we have Dave Amadio with us. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Mike. How are you today?
Good. This is your first attempt at politics, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
What made you decide to run at this time?
Okay. Well, I've always had an interest in politics, especially at the municipal level out in Prince Township. However, my career at the steel plant was quite busy, and raising a large family and that work commitment, I just didn't have the time to do it. So over the years, my wife was heavily involved, and she was on council for 3 terms. Following that, my brother was on council for 3 terms. Our children have now pretty much grown up and left. So I'm reaching a stage in my life where it's time maybe to look for some other options, and since it's always interested me, now's the right time for me.
And you were the superintendent of the DSPC at one time, so that dealing with people there should help you here, shouldn't it?
Yes. I was the DSPC superintendent when it started in 1995. Prior to that, I was superintendent of steelmaking. Since then, since around 2002, I've promoted to general manager level, and I've worked pretty much in every area of the steel plant other than coke and iron making. And yeah.
You didn't want to work at coke making, did you?
Well, I wasn't asked, but I'm kind of glad I didn't end up there. But at one time, I had over 900 people working in the plate strip, including the DSPC. So yes, you learn how to deal with people. You have to lead. You have to learn to negotiate. You have to learn to budget. You're held accountable for your decisions. So it's excellent training, and all those skills, I believe, are applicable and probably critical to being effective in politics.
Hey, you said you were married and you had a large family?
Yes, Leslie and I have 6 children, and the youngest is in her 3rd year of university now. So,
any hockey players in there?
Most of them played just for fun hockey, but they played high school football. They had very good football careers.
Because your family's been known for athletics.
Yeah, my brother Ron was the first good hockey player, and now my youngest brother Paul's youngest son has been drafted by the LA Kings, and Ron's son played 10 years in the American Hockey League. So yeah, there's a lot of good hockey players with this last name.
And John, your cousin, he was a ball player.
Johnny and Jerry were excellent ball players, and we've been involved in certainly local sports, and now some of the nephews are taking it to the next stage for sure.
From the reports I've read from press releases and things like that, severance seems to be a big issue out there. Some want the official plan to allow some farm owners to sever their land for resale, and others don't. Where do you stand on this issue?
Well, it's not a simple issue, and it is one, as you said, that has the interest of the people out there. And there are 2 camps out in the township, those that want to sever and those that don't want to see it. We have the bylaw that is being upheld, and then as people want to change, it's brought to council for an amendment or what they can do with it. I think what we have to do as a council is look at every situation individually. There are some big parcels of land out there that may have been deemed agricultural at one time and were probably farmed. They're no longer being used in that capacity. So maybe severing small parcels of that land is not an issue at all. I think where some people are concerned is if we start to split up every lot in the township and start to have too many homes, all the houses being 150-foot frontage. So I think there's really some different issues there yet, and each case, I think, up till now, from what I've been reading and following, have been brought to council, and they're trying to look at it on an individual type basis.
But doesn't the plan specify that you have to have 150?
150. The current is 300 minimum frontage, and I believe that the plan is to allow 150. So if somebody has a 300-foot lot today, they could sever it to 250-foot lots.
During the meeting, candidates meeting, you were discussing raising the taxes.
Not raising taxes.
No, I'm sorry.
Increasing-
Yeah, I'm
increasing
sorry.
revenue.
Increasing
Right,
revenue,
right.
but not raising taxes.
Yes.
Well, isn't this going to be the best way to do that? By severing and having more people move there?
Certainly, more people living in the township, more people paying taxes will definitely increase revenue. And we need to do that. We need to attract. Prince population has probably increased a couple hundred people over the last few years, which is very good. On my street alone now, we probably have 12 young children. 4 or 5 different families have built homes. So there's lots of vacant land still in the township. So there are lots of lots that could be, homes can be built on lots that we don't have to touch severance at this point. There are lots of very large parcels of land still in the township where severing 150 feet or even 300 feet off that large piece of land is not going to create a problem for overcrowded or anything. So there's lots of unused land in the township that can be used where homes can be built and more taxes raised.
I've heard the comment about the Sioux working its way out there and more people moving into Prince using that road. But I don't think that's going to be in our lifetime.
Well, like I said, population's increased in the last couple of years since, well, more than the last couple of years, over, say, the last 10 or 12 years, okay? And it hasn't been a rush to get out there. But as I said, when I built our home 29, 30 years ago, you know, there was no homes around us. There was maybe 3 other homes on the street, maybe 4. And today there's 3 homes right across the street from us, all on big lots. We have a neighbor on one side, and there's been another home built down the street. In fact, there's one going up right now. So we really can't go north. I mean, there's no room to go north. It's waterfront and people have it. You can't go east, and we can't go south. So if you want to move in any direction outside, you have to look west. And I think there is opportunity. There's lots of space out in the township. There's lots of space on my side road. There's lots of space on Mountain View. Any of those roads. There's room.
And the LaFleur family has a lot of the ones north.
They do that. Yeah.
That's one issue that's resolved, right? It was settled out of court or something.
The
And
Prince Lake.
And Prince Lake issue.
My understanding is that issue that was around for a long time has been resolved. There are some issues still in Prince Lake. We have the road, the safety on the road, and council is dealing with that. But the big issue that was out there, I believe, has all been resolved.
Internet and phone service.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been fighting to get that for a long time. But the companies that supply you, the suppliers, don't want to go out there because there's not enough users for them to regain their money back. Just putting a cell tower costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. How do you propose to get them to come out there and give you internet service and cell phone service?
Well, technology is always improving, so that helps. 1. 2, more people today have high-speed internet and cell service than they did 5 years ago. And so it's accessible to more of the township than it was earlier. I know years ago we were fortunate enough on our side road that we had it, and our good friends living a mile and a half down further west, they couldn't get high-speed internet, but they have it today. And then there are still some pockets in the township that can't access the high-speed internet. More areas can, or some other areas can access through different suppliers. However, they are paying more money for that. There's 2 issues, I think. If we continue on with the point we just had, where we can attract more people out, and especially young people with families, there will be more users, and that could certainly entice the suppliers to come out with that and support us. As technology advances, I think it'll be even more and more accessible to more people. Mm-hmm. There are some real technical problems in that the mountain, as we call it, it just blocks the signals. So there may always be some pockets that are going to be in trouble, but it's certainly much more available today than it was 5-10 years ago. And as we continue to grow the township, then we will attract people to come.
Okay, but these pockets you speak of, are they gonna have to pitch in?
It all depends on who is eventually going to put the tower up, right?
Yeah, but if these pockets, in these pockets, these people aren't gonna be getting the new service.
People today are paying extra. There are people in the township today who pay for different internet service, and they pay for that service today.
For people outside of Prince Township, they, always, whenever there's a press release or any news coming from Prince Township, it seems to be a soap opera type thing, like infighting, arguments, Laming fighting with Zaccato fighting with this one, and why is that? Can't they cooperate and find a common goal? What is causing that problem?
Well, whenever you have a council of any kind, you're going to have individuals, let's just say that way, and people have their beliefs and what they would like to see done. The past council, certainly your comment is one that has been expressed to me by many others, especially many people from outside the township, as you say, who are reading about it. That was one of the reasons some of our fellow residents have asked me to run in this election, to try to change maybe some of the interaction on council. But that will depend on who gets re-elected. You have 2 people running for Reeve, and you have 6 people running for the 4 council positions. The council, any council, has to learn to work together. You cannot have individual agendas. And it was quite evident in the last council that there appeared to be a split in the council. And it did not lead to probably good politics, nor did it lead to the best or the most effective council. However, saying that, they did some good things regarding holding the budget, holding our taxes, getting some money in reserves. And as Ken has pointed out in a couple of his articles, they got their books balanced, and they got them in shape. So the council did some good work. Unfortunately, most of it, the good work, was always overshadowed by the negative press. So whether that was the personalities or whether there was some agendas some individuals had, I'm not sure, Mike, and I'm not going to comment further on that. If I'm elected, then hopefully I can be part of an effective functioning council where the personal agendas are not going to drive the agenda.
Yeah, well, this was what I was going to ask you next. If you do get elected and it still remains the same as it is, how are you going to handle that? We've known each other for quite a while. Mm-hmm. You're a calm person. How are you going to handle that, a situation like that, when somebody says it's going to be this way?
Well, there's 5 people who get the vote, right?
Has it mattered before?
Well, if you have a council that's split 2 and 2, then the deciding vote gets his way most of the time. But I am expecting that the new council, maybe it won't be split down the middle, and maybe there'll be some common ground, and we can work together so that it's not always a 3-2 vote, which was quite often, unfortunately. I'm a calm person at times. I'm passionate about it. As we mentioned earlier, I've had the opportunity to learn some good skills and gain some very valuable experience. I'm just going to try to bring that to the council, and hopefully all the other elected members will do the same. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that there's no personal rivalries, if that's the right word, or I guess I can use the word again, agendas. But there seemed to be a lot of personnel conflicts the last time, and that didn't make for a good council.
Great. Thank you for discussing that one. Would you like to say something to your voters of Prince Township?
All I'd like to say, and I said it at the candidates meeting, is that I built my whole career at Algoma on the pillars of commitment and integrity. And if elected, I will continue to work as your councillor in the same manner and use those skills to make Prince a better place. We've raised our family there for 30 years, and I'd love to see Prince be the place where other young couples can raise their children. Thank you.
We've just been talking with Dave Amadio, a candidate for Prince Township Council in this coming election. This is Mike Caruso for Sioux Online. Thank you.